The best team lost today. That's a fact. Whether you're an Arsenal fan or a Manchester United fan, the better team lost in terms of the way we played, in terms of the fact that we looked the most threatening. And yes, Arsenal scored, but their goal was an individual error from a Manchester United goalkeeper, which is something that we've said all last season. And we started the season, and the first game of the season, what happens? An individual error from a goalkeeper has cost us. Did we score? No, of course we didn't score. We didn't score, but we were the better team. And Arsenal, after their goal, did absolutely nothing. How many chances did Arsenal create themselves? How many times did Arsenal attack? And as a Man United fan, I felt threatened. Not really. We actually marshalled Arsenal very well today. I know a lot of Man United fans are going to be upset and angry. We lost the game. How could we lose against Arsenal? And I totally understand that frustration. It's Old Trafford. We don't really lose against Arsenal at Old Trafford. The last time we lost against Arsenal at Old Trafford was about 2 or 3 years ago. But before that, it was another 4 or 5 years. So we don't actually lose against Arsenal. Not at Old Trafford. Not at Old Trafford. The first game of the season, and I know how highly anticipated this was. We got our new signings, Cunha and Mbeumo. Everyone was buzzing, looking forward to this game, and this game was decided by a goalkeeping error. We've been here before, people. We've been here before. We can talk about the lineup. And personally, I think we could all agree that our manager, Ruben Amorim, is far too negative. Last season, we saw him start with Mazraoui and Dalot as wingbacks, often. And I said many times, you cannot win a football match if 7 out of the 11 players you have are defenders. If you have a back 5 of defenders, plus your defensive midfielder and your goalkeeper, which means you only play with 4 attacking players. You're not going to win football matches. You're not going to score goals. And scoring goals was Manchester United's main issue last season. Scoring goals. We now have 2 number 10s and a striker. But yet this manager, in the opening game, where he needs to set a precedent or set an example, whatever word you want to use, he decided to go with Dalot as a wing-back over Ahmad. That's a mistake. That was a mistake. I'll tell you why. Arsenal weren't really an attacking threat. Dalot wasn't really a defensive mastermind. Ahmad is a pressing god. He's the pressing king. He presses off the ball really well. I do not believe, if we started Ahmad, that we would have been any better or worse defensively. So him starting Dalot because he wants better defensive work, I don't know if Ahmad as a wing back would have been any worse, because Ahmad is actually quite decent at running back, tracking back, and like I said, at pressing. So we saw what happens when Ahmad's on the pitch. We know what happens when Ahmad's on the pitch. When Ahmad came on, we were much better. We were more threatening on the right-hand side. Cunha and Mbeumo both had decent games today. I think Cunha probably had the slightly better game. I think some of Mbeumo's decision-making, and I still think his partnership, his synergy and the relationship on the pitch with Ahmad needs to improve. They are often in the same areas, occupying the same space. Sometimes one overlapping, sometimes one of them is underlapping, and there's not that connection there. With Mason Mount and Dorgu, I actually see more of a connection between those 2 players. And I actually thought before Mason Mount was sent off that he was having a decent game. I actually thought also that we were going to get overrun, not outrun, but overrun by Arsenal's midfield. Our 2 midfielders, Bruno and Casemiro, in that midfield, before the game started, I would have said to you, we're going to get outplayed, outmaneuvered in that midfield by Rice, Zubimendi and Odegaard. But we weren't. I'm not saying Bruno and Casemiro had the best game, but they weren't the reason why we lost today. They weren't. They both had decent games. Do we need another midfielder? Yes, of course we do. We definitely need a goalkeeper. But the midfield wasn't the reason why we lost today. We actually played better than Arsenal today. So there's multiple ways you can look at the game, people. There are multiple ways. You can look at it in isolation and say, if Arsenal are going to be a top 4 team and we played better than them at Old Trafford, we didn't beat them, but this is just the beginning. There's not a lot of cohesion yet, and we're going to get better. Our players are going to start getting used to each other. So maybe in a month or two, we're going to see much more improvement from the players, right? So if this is just the start and we played this well against Arsenal, then we're only going to get better. We're going to see improvement. So you can still look at this situation optimistically. However, I also understand the Man United fans out there who are like, listen, this is the first game of the season. It's at Old Trafford. You just don't lose. You set the team up wrong. Amorim's been setting the team up defensively all last season, and he started the same way. He started very negative, very defensively. Arsenal weren't a threat. If he started more on the front foot, maybe we'd have done better rather than being so defensive. There's some people who are already doubting Amorim. And I understand that too. I understand different perspectives when it comes to what happened in today's game. However, like I keep saying, we were the better team. We were the better team today, and I believe it is time to be a bit more optimistic. Bring on the next game. The only thing is we're playing once a week, so if we lose, we have to sit in this loss for a whole week. We don't have a Wednesday or Thursday game to get over the defeat. We have to wait a whole week to play again. So we have to win the next game. We absolutely must. I like the little bits of Sesko that I did see. I want to see more of him. I want to see Cunha and Mbeumo. They need to play more games. I'm happy that they played the full 90 minutes. I think Cunha was very good. He had some very good touches. He drove through the middle of the park a lot. I think he's going to be a good signing for us. I can't wait to see what he has in store. So guys, yeah, that's my really verdict on the game. Not the best game, clearly. We played better. We need to do better. We need more cohesion in the final third. We need more relationships in the final third. We need to put the ball into the net. Listen, Raya had a good game. He made 2 or 3 really good saves. An Mbeumo save, the Cunha save before that as well. So at least 2 or 3 really good saves. Arsenal were very lucky today. Arsenal were very lucky, but at the same time, United just didn't do enough in the final third to score. It's a shame. It's a shame, guys, but it is what it is. As usual, people, smash the like, share the video, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys next time.